To you and welcome to the National Assembly live proceedings on this afternoon of October 7th, 2021. This broadcast is brought to you courtesy of the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit, and this is in collaboration with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. We're so glad you're watching, and my name is Gladys Mungai, and just to take you through the highlights in the order of business this afternoon is that the House is set to debate as well as vote on the Landlord and Tenant Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2021 by the Leader of Majority. The Chairperson Departmental Committee on Transport as well as Public Works and Housing will be moving a motion on the ratification of the agreement. This is amending of the air transport agreement between Kenya and the United States of America. That this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Transport, Public Works and Housing. This is on its consideration for the ramification of the agreement amending the air transport agreement between Kenya and the U.S., and that particular report was laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, August 18th, 2021. And pursuant to the provisions of Section 8, Subsection 4 of the Treaty, Making as well as Ramification Act of 2012, approves ratification of the agreement amending air transport agreement between Kenya and the United States. The Chairperson Departmental Committee on Defense and Foreign Relations will also be moving a motion on the ratification of protocols. This is to the African Charter on human as well as people rights, on the rights of older persons and the rights of persons with disabilities. Another motion set for consideration is on the outstanding funds payable to the National Government Constituencies Development Fund by the National Treasury. You can watch this broadcast on our YouTube channel, that is on Parliament of Kenya, as well as on KBC Channel 1. And as members keep making their ways into the chamber, pursuant to Standing Orders number 48, subsection 1, members will be fielding questions for reply before departmental committees. And member for Wundanyi, Honorable Danson Mwashako, will be asking the Cabinet Secretary for Innovation, ICT and Youth Affairs to provide names of all firms which own communication masts and as well as installations at the Vuria Hill in Wundanyi constituency. And could the Cabinet Secretary explain why the road leading to the said installations has not been maintained and why the owners of the masts have failed to carry out corporate social responsibility projects for the communities living in that particular area? And could the Cabinet Secretary clarify whether any environmental impact assessment, this is on health as well as safety of the mast and installed equipment, was carried out, this particularly on the effect of the nature of the network and wave transmissions before the installation of the masts? Questions by Honorable Danson Mwashako will be replied by the Departmental Committee on Communication, Information and Innovation. Member for Marsabit County, Honorable Safia Sheikh, will be asking the Cabinet Secretary for Health measures as well as the status of the implementation of the Universal Health Coverage Program in the country, and what does the government intend to fully implement the said program across the 47 counties. This is to enable all persons access quality as well as affordable medical coverage in the view of COVID-19 pandemic. Questions by Honorable Member Safia Sheikh Aden will be replied before the Departmental Committee on Health. Member for Kitui Rural, Honorable Mboni Mwaliko, will be asking the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury and Planning to provide the list of firms registered to undertake betting and gaming activities. And could the Cabinet Secretary outline the impact as well as the benefits to the Kenyan economy arising from betting and gaming activities and companies? And lastly, the Cabinet Secretary to provide details of cases, this is of money laundering activities, if any, that may have been undertaken through betting as well as gaming activities in the country, as well as indicate the steps taken to monitor, deter, arrest, and prosecute the culprits. Questions by Honourable Member for Kitui Rural will be replied before the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Honourable Justin Muturi, is in the chamber to preside over the business this afternoon. I'll now be handing you over for the live broadcast. Enjoy your viewing. Good afternoon.
Na tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, ambaye kwa hekima na wema wako umeteua nyadhifa za viongozi na mabunge kwa ustawi wa jamii na utawala wa haki wa wanadamu, twakusihi ututazame kwa neema nyingi sisi watumishi wako ambao umerithika kutuita ili tutekeleze shughuli muhimu za jamhuri yetu. Twakuomba ututeremshie baraka zako sisi tuliokutanika hapa, na tujalie tuyatende na kuyafikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako ziendelezwe, na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Subsection 5, relating to messages received from a Cabinet Secretary, wish to confirm to the House that I've received a message from the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Planning regarding nomination of persons to fill vacancies in the Privatization Commission and the Board of the Competition Authority in accordance with the requirements of the law. Honourable members, with regard to the Privatization Commission, Section 5 of the Privatization Act number 2 of 2015 provides as follows, I quote, "The Commission shall comprise the following members: A chairman appointed by the President; B, the Attorney General; C, the Permanent Secretary to the Treasury; D, 7 members not being public officers appointed by the Minister through a competitive process and approved by the National Assembly by virtue following persons for appointment to the Privatization Commission to fill the existing 6 vacancies, subject to approval by the National Assembly. 1, Dr. Edward N. Kobuthi, PhD member. 2, Ms. Irene Jerry Wanyoike, member. 3, Ms. Celine Anyango Orata, member. 4, Mr. Salah Adan Abdi, member. 5, Mr. CPA David J.O. Nyakango, member. And 6, Ambassador Wellington Pakiagondo, member. Honourable members, with regard to the Competition Authority, Section 10 of the Competition Act number 12 of 2010 provides as follows, and I quote, The authority shall consist of the following members: A chairperson appointed by the President; B, the permanent secretary in the ministry for the time being responsible for finance or his representative; C, the permanent secretary in the ministry for the time being responsible for trade or his representative; D, the Attorney General or his representative; E, the Director General appointed under Section 12; and F, 5 other members appointed by the Minister from among persons experienced in competition and consumer welfare matters, one of whom shall be experienced in consumer welfare matters. Subsection 2, the persons proposed to be members of the authority under subsection 1F shall, before their appointment to the authority, be vetted and approved by Parliament through the relevant committee of Parliament. In this regard, honourable members, and in accordance with the requirements of the said law, the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Planning notifies that he has nominated the following persons for appointment to the board of the Competition Authority to fill the 4 vacancies subject to approval of the House. 1, Ms. Lena Munuve, member. 2, Ms. Alome K. Achayo, member. 3, Dr. David Wanyonyi Wanyama, member. And 4, Mr. Abdi A. Mohammed, member. Honourable members, standing order number 45 provides that upon receipt of the notification of nomination for appointment, such nominations shall stand committed to the relevant departmental committee of the House for consideration. In this regard, honourable members, I refer the names of the nominees, including their curriculum vitae, to the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning to undertake the necessary approval hearings. Thereafter, the House shall consider the proposed nominees in accordance with the provisions of the respective Acts of Parliament and the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act of 2011. Now, members, Section 8, Subsection 1 of the Act requires the National Assembly to either approve or reject the nominees within 28 days from the date on which the notification of nomination was given. And in view of the going, I wish to guide the committee and the House as follows. 1, that the committee should notify the nominees of the general public of the time and place for holding the approval hearings in good time. The notification should therefore be made immediately. And 2, that the committee should thereafter commence the necessary approval hearings and submit its report to the House within the stipulated timelines to enable the House to conclude the approval process within the timelines provided in law. I thank you, no members.
Order number 4, petitions.
Please make your way in. Make your way in and take seats. Honourable members, I present this petition under standing order number 225, subsection 2, paragraph B, and further as provided for under Article 119 of the Constitution. In this regard, honourable members, I wish to report to the House that my office has received a petition from Mr. Isaac Jogona Ngaro of P.O. Box 837, Nairobi, calling for the inclusion of the now popular National Prayer Day as a public holiday to be prescribed under the Public Holidays Act in line with the Article 9 of the Constitution. The petitioner, who at the onset declares his strong belief in the power of prayer, applauds members of Parliament for their commitment in holding the annual National Prayer Breakfast that brings together various leaders in seeking good tidings for the nation. However, the petitioner is convinced that the rest of the citizenry seeks involvement in these prayers and suggests the establishment of the National Prayer Day and its subsequent inclusion as a public holiday as the best avenue of involving the entire country in this national prayer undertaking. The petition, honourable members, is equally convinced that intercessions made during the proposed National Prayer Day, as well as in other prayer occasions, will go a long way in addressing recurring or ongoing challenges facing the nation, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, mysterious accidents, suicides, immoral behavior, locust invasion, and among many other calamities. The petitioner cites an event in 1997 during which His Excellency, the late President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, called the nation together for prayer at Uhuru Park in the face of persistent drought and starvation, and averts that the heavens opened and rain fell immediately after the prayers. He thus proposes for the holding of a week-long prayer week across the country on diverse national concerns, which shall then culminate in the National Prayer Day. Having determined that the matters raised herein are well within the authority of the House, I order that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 2271, the petition will be committed to the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security, which will inquire into the petition and report its findings to the House and to the petitioner in accordance with Standing Order 227, subsection 2. I thank you. Honorable Khatib Mashetani, you also have a petition to present.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to present a public petition to this House regarding appeal for land education in Wasini Island. Mr. Speaker, the undersigned, on behalf of residents of Wasini Island, draw the attention of this House to the following. That Wasini Island, which is also known as Wasini Nkwiru Island, is located near Shimoni town in the coastal region and covers approximately 289 acres of land registered as provisional plot number PW33/Wasini Island. That sustains a community of over 300 families. That on 31st October 1979, the then Kwale District Land Adjudication Office declared Wasini Island as an adjudication area pursuant to Section 5 of the Land Adjudication Act, which implied that all rights and interests within the adjudication section were to be strictly observed as required by law. That the island was therefore thereafter surveyed and adjudicated by the Ministry of Land through the Kwale District Land Adjudication Office, which proceeded to issue the title deeds thereof. That years later, in 1995, one Hassan Nasser, Mohammed Nasser, and Ahmed Nasser, who were at approximately 5 acres of land to their names, challenged the education process in court by suing one Mohammed Masood and Hamadi Khalfan, and later included Attorney General as part of the defendant. That in a bid to secure the land from being grabbed before development of the trust land policy, the community had entrusted the land under Mr. Alawi Sagaf, who was a relative to the 3 plaintiffs, to hold in trust pending its adjudication, after which each family would receive its specific portion of land as verbally agreed during deed issuance. Mr. Speaker, that in July 1995, the High Court order was issued and communicated through the Chief Land Registrar to invalidate the deeds issued in Kwale Wasini registration section, with the Chief Land Registrar querying the enforcement of an order whose case had involved only 3 people out of the 80 title deeds holders. That as peasant fishermen struggling to make a living, the poor families were unable to hire lawyers against the ruling and declared all the title deeds null and void, and which further called for a new adjudication exercise to be conducted, but which has never been effected to date. That the Chief Registrar has since then never made any communication regarding any surrender of title deeds, and hence the title deeds have not been invalidated. They have been in installment and continued since then. That efforts by Wasini Island residents to address this matter with relevant authority has borne no fruit, and that the issues in respect of which the petition is made are not pending before any court of law or other constitutional or legal bodies. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, your humble petitioners pray that the National Assembly, through the Departmental Committee of Lands, intervenes to either secure the undertaking of a new adjudication process or to secure the declaration that all title deeds as initially issued remain valid and legal. Number two, Mr. Speaker, intervenes to protect Wasini Island, which is an ancestral land to the local communities, from being grabbed or illegally dispossessed from them on account of the ongoing construction of Simoni Port. Number three, causes the Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning to explain why it sent over 100 armed police officers to oversee an illegal and irregular surveying of land without following the due processes and without meeting numerous legal requirements. And the last one, Mr. Speaker, make any other recommendation it deems appropriate in the circumstances of the petition. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Now, honourable members, I know that under starting orders 226, there's room for comments for 30 minutes. Oh, sorry, there's even yet another one, but the Honourable Atandi. But Honourable Atandi, I will come back to you. But honourable members, because of what I've been observing in recent past, when many of you make these comments, and it will be limited to 2 minutes, many of you just walk out. So you deny us the opportunity to put a question on many businesses that have been concluded, and therefore you put us in danger of being in conflict with the provisions of Article 121 of the Constitution regarding quorum in the House, especially when critical decisions are being made, such as whether a bill should be read a second time, or whether a policy paper should be adopted, or a report of a committee has received the endorsement of the House, which of course, as required under Article 121, must have not less than 50 of you. And I'm saying this, honourable members, because in the last, just it's now 2:52, I've seen several members who made their way up to the door there, some purported to even stand next to some seats, and then over 10 of them have walked away, and therefore they have finished their appearance for today. So allow me to interrupt the order of business and ask that we clear with the issues of determination and go to orders numbers 8, 9, and 10. Proceed. Comments that will come after that. Yeah.
Order number 8, the Railroad and Tenant Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2021, second reading, question to be put.
Now you can see, honourable members, what I was saying now. The Honourable Shakil is already on his way out. Pero let me just put the question, which is that the Landlord and Tenant Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2021, be now read a second time. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to consolidate the laws relating to the renting of business and residential premises, to regulate the relationship between the landlord and the tenant in order to promote stability in the rental sector, to establish tribunals, to provide for the adjudication of disputes and for connected purposes. Order number 9, motion. Ratification of the agreement amending the air transport agreement between Kenya and the United States of America. Question to be put.
Again, honour members, debate on this motion was concluded yesterday. What remained was for the question to be put, which I hereby do. That this House adopts a report of the Departmental Committee on Transport, Public Works and Housing on its consideration for ratification of the agreement between amending the air transport agreement between Kenya and the United States of America, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, August 18th, 2021, and pursuant to provisions of Section 8, Subsection 4 of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act of 2012, approves ratification of the agreement amending the air transport agreement between Kenya and the United States of America. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Aye. As many as contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 10, motion. Ratification of protocols to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, on the rights of older persons and the rights of persons with disabilities. Question to be put.
So the question is on rights of older persons. Please make your way. Again, I put the question that this House adopts a report of the Departmental Committee on Defense and Foreign Relations on the ratification of protocols to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, on the rights of older persons and the rights of persons with disabilities, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8, Subsection 4 of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act of 2012, approves 1, the ratification of the protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, on the rights of older persons in Africa, and 2, the ratification of the protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, on the rights of persons with disabilities in Africa. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Aye. As many as contrary opinion say nay? The older persons, the ayes have it. No, yeah, that's all, honour members. At least we have dispensed with those, so that now when we can ask the Honourable Attorney to read out his petition, and I will be timing so that after that we have 30 minutes for comments and clarifications.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. This is public petition number 51 of 2021, and the petitioners are seeking for financial support of the CBK, Central Bank of Kenya, in the matter of Spire Bank Limited under sections 34 and 36 of the Central Bank of Kenya Act. I, the undersigned, on behalf of concerned teachers within the Republic of Kenya who invested in Spire Bank through Mwalimu National Circle Society, draw the attention of the House to the following. 1, that Spire Bank Limited, formerly known as Equatorial Commercial Bank, was established as a finance company in 1983 under the Banking Act, Chapter 488 of the laws of Kenya, and regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya as a financial institution. 2, that on 10th October 2014, Mwalimu National Circle Society Limited signed an agreement to buy the banking and investment arm of Equatorial Commercial Bank, which rebranded as Spire Bank. 3, that despite public concern against the risk of investing teachers' savings in ECB, which had just posted a pre-tax loss of approximately 436 million in the year ending December 31st, 2014, Mwalimu Sacco proceeded with the controversial buyout of the bank and went ahead to become the majority shareholder in having acquired 75% stake at an estimated cost of 2.6 billion in 2016. For a long time, following completion of the buyout of Spire Bank by Mwalimu National Sacco Limited, the bank has been dogged with financial challenges to date. Number 5, that given the membership of Mwalimu National Sacco Limited largely comprises of teachers, Spire Bank is deemed to be owned by teachers who have invested heavily in it through their savings in the Sacco. 6, that as key stakeholder in Mwalimu National Sacco, teachers are concerned that should the financial woes facing Spire Bank are left to continue, the bank may end up being wound up and sink with their hard-earned savings invested in the bank through the Sacco. 7, that the state of affairs at Spire Bank is a matter of general public importance, given that teachers form a sizable public sector employees. 8, that the petitioners verily believe that Central Bank of Kenya has a role to play in assisting Spire Bank Limited to overcome the financial challenges it is currently facing, thus preventing its imminent collapse. 9, that Central Bank of Kenya is mandated under the Central Bank of Kenya Act to ensure, among other things, the liquidity, solvency, and the proper functioning of a stable market-based financial system. 10, that under Section 34, under the CBK Act, Chapter 491 of the laws of Kenya, the Central Bank of Kenya is expected to extend facilities, loans, and other financial support services to specified banks under appropriate terms and conditions. Number 11, that financial challenges of facing Spire Bank Limited can partly be alleviated if Central Bank of Kenya exercises its mandate under the aforesaid sections 34, 36 of the Central Bank of Kenya Act. 12, that the Central Bank of Kenya has previously accorded necessary financial support to other financial institutions within its regulatory framework facing financial challenges similar to those of Spire Bank, thus assisting them to regain financial stability. 13, that the matter of imminent collapse of Spire Bank Limited is of great public interest, requiring intervention of the National Assembly pursuant to Article 95 of the Constitution, so as to secure the savings of teachers and other stakeholders across the country. Number 14, that to the best of the petitioner's knowledge, the issues in respect of which this petition is made are not pending before any court of law or a constitutional or legal body. Therefore, your humble petitioners pray for intervention of this House through the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning to urgently look into the issues raised in this petition and, 1, direct the Central Bank of Kenya to furnish it with a comprehensive report outlining efforts, if any, that the CBK has made or is making in terms of extending financial support to Spire Bank Limited to forestall the bank's imminent collapse and secure the savings of millions of teachers and other stakeholders across the country. 2, recommend that pursuant to Section 34 and 36 of the Central Bank of Kenya Act, the Central Bank of Kenya urgently extends financial intervention to Spire Bank Limited to forestall its imminent collapse, just like CBK has previously done for financial institutions which had financial challenges similar to those facing Spire Bank Limited. And 3, make any recommendations that it may deem fit in addressing the issues, the concerns of the petitioners. And your petitioner will ever pray. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Comments will be limited to 2 minutes and for only a maximum of 30 minutes. Member for Endebess.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my first comment will be on the petition on the National Prayer Breakfast. Honorable Speaker, as the committee looks into it, I think we need, it's a good petition, but asking for a public holiday, I think that is missing the point, because we need to be able to work hard and be able to be productive as a country. Issues of public holidays normally interfere with the workings. But let's look at it in terms of how do we make it even much better, because in the last prayer breakfast, you know, I saw something which was not very good from many people, because it became a handshake prayer breakfast and others were excluded. Because when you say the honorable member for Nyeri Town, who has never been in a church, being the one conducting a prayer there, then it leaves a lot to be desired. That should not happen. Honorable Speaker, on the petition for Asasi, I think it's a good petition, but they should be able to be assisted by the member for Honorable Mwashetani. I think that's a very valid thing. It should be looked into, and I think a report should be tabled in this House where we'll be able to support the Honorable Mwashetani. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honourable members, I will not allow points of orders because you are only commenting for 2 minutes. So please, don't worry. The member who has been mentioned as is a member of this House, he can defend himself. Honourable Sankok.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I rise to comment on your petition, the petition that you read on behalf of the petitioner on concerning the prayer breakfast. Honorable Speaker, this country needs prayers, and I really support the petitioner. The petitioner enumerated some instances in which we have really faced some very disastrous issues like the drought, the locust invasion, terrorism, the COVID-19, and of course, the economic meltdown has been enumerated. Honorable Speaker, we really need this prayer. And as we go to prayers, Honorable Speaker, it is good that this country accept that we are a country that believe in God, that don't believe in other thing. I heard people saying that even Muganga is a doctor, which is not true. So we need really to be humble in our prayers. And when we go to church, let us remember those churches have been built, and they have been built through donation of people who have been philanthropists, who have been going to church earlier. So as you come to church, and as you go to the religious institution, please don't come empty-handed, because we need a shade to go and pray there. So I support that we have that prayer breakfast, and if it must be a national holiday, let it be, because if we can give God one day of our 365 days, I think it is worth. Thank you, I support.
Member for Kamukunji.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. My first comment is on the call for another public holiday. We don't need another public holiday. We need more work. And although religion is a private matter, our connection with God is a private matter, we should continue to pray for the goodness of our country and our humanity, but we need to be scientific. We need to stop the destruction of our environment and arrest climate change. And this can be done by changing our behavior towards our environment. The second point is that I'd like to support the petition raised by our brother Atandi on the savings of the teachers. Many times in this House, petitions have been brought to support the funding of big companies like Kenya Airways, privately owned by individuals, demanding that we should put taxpayers' money to support those ones. We now need to help our teachers so that they don't save their hard-earning savings and protect their economic interest by the central bank coming to their rescue. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for the Red South.
Mr. Speaker, I do thank you profusely for realizing the technical hitch that has happened. And I'd like to just support one petition. The petitioner who recommends for us to institute a national prayer day. Mr. Speaker, we are reminded that this is a country that believes in God, as it is noted in our national anthem, where we start by acknowledging the God of all creation. Also in our constitution, Mr. Speaker, in the preamble, our first acknowledgement is to the supremacy of the Almighty God of all creation. And I'd like to note that for the last 500 years, Mr. Speaker, we have been living in an epoch that I would call the scientific materialistic age, Mr. Speaker. But now we are living in a new world. We are evolving into a spiritual realm, Mr. Speaker. So even as we speak about a National Prayer Day, I would wish that this committee would look more into issues of spirituality, because religiosity is bringing conflict in this country. Every time we bring up issues of religion, they are becoming politicized, Mr. Speaker. I do believe that religion is a man-made construct, but spirituality is what we actually are as a creation of God. So, Mr. Speaker, I do support this petition, and I do hope that we shall institute a day of national prayers, because we have given and acknowledged many other things that are less important than the creator of mankind, Mr. Speaker. So as the committee takes this up, I pray that they shall give it the seriousness that it deserves. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for that opportunity.
Member for North Imenti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in as much as I want to join the first petition, support it, Mr. Speaker, we know prayers move mountains, but setting a specific national day, holiday for prayer day, I think we should go and pray in our homes, and we should pray everywhere else we can. Regarding the second petition, Mr. Speaker, I want to join Mheshimiwa Khatib Mwashaitani. I believe the sanctity of a title deed should be protected. Like one of my colleagues said yesterday, that the titles were given in the air, and I wonder, when are titles given in the air? Which titles are we talking about? So the sanctity of a title should always be protected, and that is what the titles are for. And on the third petition, Mr. Speaker, on the Spire Bank, I think we need to tighten regulations on takeovers and mergers. Mr. Speaker, the teachers were taken for a ride, and whoever is responsible for it should be asked to repay the teachers back all the money which they are losing in Spire Bank. And I think Central Bank should make its work easier, supervision, so that we do not have teachers losing their money. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I join all three petitions.
I thought you meant Honorable Khatib Mwashaitani, not Mwashaitani. Honorable Sosion.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. On the petition of national prayer, yes, we acknowledge in our Constitution the supremacy of God. That is quite welcome. But it has reached a time we have to balance between undertaking such national activities with also ensuring that our nation continues working. On the Spire Bank, Honorable Speaker, it is good to note that Kenyan workers, through SACCOs and other investments, are the most vibrant investors in our economy. In fact, if we get to other nationals, there are no SACCOs, workers don't have SACCOs, and the good work of workers of this country should not be derailed by such unscrupulous activities within the financial sector. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, as the Finance Committee looks into that, it will be imperative and important to push the responsibility to the Central Bank of Kenya, so that the Spire Bank and the teachers can be extricated from this mess and the bank saved. And on Honorable Mwashaitani's petition, it's very, very important that also that is given true treatment to protect the land rights of the people. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Mumias East.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I support the first petitioner, Isaac Njuguna, in as far as the scope of the theme of what we pray for is concerned. Because, Honorable Speaker, in most cases we have been praying for peace. But you will agree with me that we have more problems than only peace. We have poverty. Kenyans are now very poor. We need to pray for Kenyans to have school fees. We need to have Kenyans to pray for even the escalating fuel. But, Honorable Speaker, the issue, this country has freedom of worship, and therefore praying is every day, and I hope even today our brother Isaac Njuguna prayed. In as far as Honorable Mwashaitani's petition is, Honorable Speaker, I had an opportunity to accompany Honorable Mashetani to this Wasini Island, and indeed, these people of Wasini Island require support, because we just went there when the police had invaded that island, and there was a lot of anxiety, and therefore I'm just asking and requesting the committee concerned to move with speed to make sure that they settle the people of Wasini. I thank you.
Member for Nandi.
Honorable Speaker, I stand to support the first petitioner on National Prayer Day. Honorable Speaker, 1 Thessalonians 5:17 calls upon us to pray without ceasing. Though we pray, Jeremiah 33:3 says, call unto me, and I'll answer, and I'll show you great and mighty things which you do not know of. This nation, Honorable Speaker, this nation needs prayer. There are a lot of things which has happened in Kenya, and as a prayerful woman, we need to call upon God. And we don't just pray the prayers we have written. We need prophets to give us direction concerning this nation. Honorable Speaker, 365 days, if we can give God only one day, He is the creator of the universe, and He holds our lives, and He holds the entire nation. So I support. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, I support a petition on teachers. They have invested 36 million. Central Bank of Kenya should come in and assist our teachers. They are doing good to our children, and we need their assistance at such a time like this when COVID-19 is really ravaging the country. Honorable Speaker, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to support the first petition about National Prayer Day. Mr. Speaker, the National Prayer Day, which we normally hold annually, it is centrally set, Mr. Speaker. And I think the intention of the petitioner is that the prayer day, when it's declared a national day, it will be spread all over this country, Mr. Speaker. So there is a need, Mr. Speaker, to make sure that we have a national prayer day, because it is only one day amongst 365 days, Mr. Speaker, and we know we breathe because God has kept us well, and we are supposed to give Him that day, Mr. Speaker, where all of us, we can praise Him, we can pray to Him, even though we normally go to church every Sunday. I beg to support, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Chebalungu.
Honorable Speaker, mine is on the Mwashetani, Honorable Mwashetani. The respect of title deeds in this country is very important, Honorable Speaker. I want to give an instance of what happened to majority of Kipsigis in Mau. Some of them were issued title deeds, and they have never been compensated. And you find out that the environment minister called them, those are just mere papers. Honorable Speaker, are there title deeds in this country that are metallic or iron? All of them are papers. They should be compensated. So we are not saying they go back to Mau, but they should be compensated because it is the same government that gave them those title deeds. And they are all papers, legally given by the government. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Soti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to comment on a petition that has been brought by Honorable Atandi on the issue of Spire Bank and Mwalimu Sacco. I think, Mr. Speaker, this is a very serious matter because the whole transaction sounds fraudulent. And I think the committee should really go into the deeper issues in this matter so that anyone who may have been involved in any activity to defraud the teachers of this country should be made to pay for it. So I think the committee, you have a major task to do on behalf of the teachers of this country. And the issue of central bank involvement. I think central bank has queries to answer on that transaction, because that transaction was done within a record time with all the suspicions around it. And at this rate, we are concerned about central bank and the way they are regulating the banking sector. Otherwise, the committee, you have a tough task to do, and you need to come back with a report to this House, a report that can be actioned by the relevant agencies, so that the investment of our teachers is not lost to fraudulent individuals or fraudulent groups. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Lamu.
Asante Bwana Spika kunipatia na mimi nafasi nichangie. Naunga mkono ombi la maombi ya kitaifa. Bwana Spika, shida ya Kenya, wengi tunaenda misikitini na makanisa kwa wingi, lakini nyoyo zetu, roho zetu haziko safi. Sio, tunahitaji Mwenyezi Mungu, tuombeni Mungu atuongoze hizi nyoyo zetu. Yale tunaokwenda kusema, tunaofanya yawe ni hayo hayo. Bwana Spika, especially wakati huu karibu na uchaguzi. Shida inakuwa kubwa Kenya, tunahitaji maombi. Manake kuna viongozi wengine wanasiasa kama sisi au wengine wataona wao wako mbele, kumbe wakija kiona uchaguzi sivyo walivyotarajia, italeta shida. So tunahitaji haya maombi. Maombi ni muhimu. Bwana Spika, Kenya sisi hatuna shida ya sheria, hatuna shida ya mambo mengine. Shida ni uadilifu hatuna. So tunahitaji Mwenyezi Mungu ili atuongoze. La pili, nataka kuunga ombi la Mheshimiwa Mashatani. Hizi visiwa Bwana Spika, kuna matatizo makubwa. Visiwa viko karne. Kama kisiwa cha Kiwaiu, kisha wale watu wa KWS wanakuja wanasema ni marine. Watu wamekaa hapo miaka yote. Haya mambo yanafaa kuangaliwa. Hiyo shida inatokea huko kwa Mheshimiwa Mashatani. Shida hizo tuko Lamu. Naomba hili bunge, tafadhali kama itakuwa kuna muda tufanye hizi shida ziondoke. Watu wakae huko miaka yote, kisha ghafla titles zijitolewe na hatujawapangia tunawapeleka wapi. Na tukiwapeleka huko tunapotaka kuwapeleka watakaa vipi? Na wamezoea kwa hapo siku zote. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Member for Funyula.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to comment on the first petition concerning National Prayer Day and the second one presented by my colleague, Honorable Atandi. Honorable Speaker, as much as it is extremely important that we have a prayer day, that Kenya becomes a prayerful country, I think we go to church every single day. And in the Bible it's always said you should pray every single day. Honestly speaking, it might not be extremely necessary to have a national prayer day. We have so many challenges, yes, but we should keep on praying every single day. On the case of Aspire Bank, Honorable Speaker, I think that petition is timely. It has been a developing story for some months now, and it is indeed necessary that those who are involved in this fraudulent activity, fraudulent transfer of takeover of the bank using teachers' hard-earned money, should be brought to book. And probably it is important that at any given time, there ought to be adequate due diligence before such kind of a huge transaction happens in this country. It is possible that actually the people, the teachers were duped to believe this is a functioning bank, a profitable bank, and those who are responsible, be it at the SACCO and those who are approved as CBK, should be held to account. Finally, Honorable Speaker, as we continue to pray, we should also pray that wherever you are and you have stolen public funds, remember what's also said in the Bible, we shall return to where you have stolen the funds. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Kabuchai.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, National Prayer Day is very important, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it defines our nation. It will show this country as a praying nation, Mr. Speaker. In fact, Mr. Speaker, if this is made, it will be the first one in the south of the Sahara and north of Limbombo. Mr. Speaker, we need this prayer day very much. The only thing, Mr. Speaker, that we shall ask the committee to do is to draw it clearly, to see if it's possible to be having individual churches, making it in their churches, or having a common unit, an empirical formula at every sub-county level, as we do it every, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, and I support the Speaker.
Member for Tharaka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to comment on two petitions. The first one being the request for the petition to have the National Prayer Breakfast made a public holiday. While I agree that Kenya is a praying nation, we also have to make a provision that we must work. We cannot be a country of public holidays, some of which we have no idea what they stand for and what we are supposed to do on those particular days, including Monday, the 11th of October, which is duped Huduma Day, but really not many people know exactly what they're supposed to do, but there we shall be enjoying a public holiday. Let us also pray on Sundays and any other days, and if we really have to have a national holiday for prayers, let's fix it somewhere in the Huduma holiday so that we pray in the morning and we do some Huduma services in the afternoon. As regards the sanctity of title, it's only valid titles that are sacrosanct. Those that are obtained through fraud, through dubious means, cannot be said to be sacrosanct and are subject to challenge, and they must at all times be challenged. Thank you.
Member from where?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to comment on two petitions, the first and the third one. On the first one, Honorable Speaker, when we talk about prayers, this is a very serious issue, and we hope that we can we can integrate prayers in each and every holiday that we have, so that we don't have to have a standalone holiday when we have so many holidays. But at the same time, let us put politics out of this, Honorable Speaker. One of the speakers mentioned one son of a priest in the Anglican Church, which I prescribe to, and I know that particular honorable member is a serious member of the Anglican Church of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, on the last one, by Honorable Mwashetani, I'm hoping that the Ministry of Lands can take these lands issues seriously, Honorable Speaker. And I say so because recently I had a question on one of the plots in my constituency in Mwea, in a place called the Fathers, and the response that came was totally out of context. They referred to another parcel of land and not what I was referring to. So I'm hoping that that particular petition and others will be taken seriously, because matters around are sensitive issues that needs to be taken seriously, Honorable Speaker. I thank you.
Member for Arienda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the interest of time, first I support the petition by Honorable Atandi. On this one by Isaac Njuguna, it is totally misplaced, Mr. Speaker. First of all, it conflates the role of state and religion against Article 8 of the Constitution. Secondly, under Article 9.3, national holidays and public holidays are to be prescribed. We as a House passed the Public Holidays Act as amended in 2012. It gives the minister power to prescribe additional public holidays. The petitioner does not need to come to us. The petitioner needs to go to the minister and persuade the minister that alongside 11th of October, let them add those other days. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, in any event, we don't just have one holiday for praying. Every week we have at least 2 days. We Catholics have Sunday. The SDAs have Saturday. Our Muslim brothers and sisters don't have any day, but they pray on Friday. Why do you need a public holiday to pray? You can pray every day and anywhere. And in any event, Mr. Speaker, we should now reduce these days, not increase them. I find no merit in it. Thank you.
Member for Westlands.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I totally agree with Honorable Atienda Molo on the prayer, on the holiday for prayer. But Mr. Speaker, we have seen in other countries like the US, they have a national Thanksgiving Day, which is essentially a prayer day. And I believe that in this country, every religious group, they have set aside days for prayer. And these are special days, Mr. Speaker. On the Christian calendar, we have Christmas days, we have Easter, we have others. The Hindus have Diwali, and the Muslims have Eid. Those holidays are there, Mr. Speaker. And normally, they are declared national holidays on those particular days. So I believe that we should never just pray one day, but pray every day and every now. Mr. Speaker, on the petition by Honorable Atandi, Mr. Speaker, the people who sold that bank to Mwalimu Sacco, they knew the bank was going under, and they went ahead and sold the teachers, and now the teachers are stuck with a bank that is insolvent. So these are criminal activity that, Mr. Speaker, should be looked into, and they should be investigated, and the culprits be brought to book. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Farewell. The 30 minutes is over. We move to the next order. The petitions are committed respectively to the committees to which they are directed, namely Administration and National Security for the first one, second one to the Departmental Committee on Lands, and the third petition by the Honorable Atandi to the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning. Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Leader of majority.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, October the 7th, 2021, in the afternoon sitting. The number 1 is a public debt management report for the financial year 2020-2021 from the National Treasury and Planning. Number 2, the 2021 budget review and outlook paper for the financial year 2022-2023 and the medium-term budget from the National Treasury and Planning. Number 3, the National Government Budget Implementation Review Report for the financial year 2020-2021 from the Office of the Controller of Budget. Number 4, the schedule of additional expenditures granted under Article 223 of the Constitution for the financial year 2021-2022 from the National Treasury and Planning. Number 5, the report of the Auditor General Financial Statement in respect of the Capital Markets Authority for the financial year ended 30th of June 2021 and the certificates therein. Number 6, the report of the Auditor General and Financial Statement in respect of the Gulf Hotel Limited for the year ended 30th of June 2019 and the certificates therein. Number 7, the report of the Auditor General and Financial Statements in respect of the Rift Valley Water Works Development Agency for the financial year ended 30th of June 2019 and the certificate therein. Number 8, the report of the Auditor General and Financial Statements in respect of the Kisii National Polytechnic for the financial year ended 30th of June 2019 and the certificate therein. And number 9, reports of the Auditor General and Financial Statement in respect of the following constituencies for the year ended 30th of June 2019 and the certificates therein. And the constituencies are Budalangi, Bonchari, Endebess, Fafi, Embakasi Central, Garissa Township, Ikolomani, Quisero, Mandera East, Navakolo, Nambale, Kilifi South, Wajir South, Tongaren, and Thika Town. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
First segment, questions. Honorable Tiende Amolo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you will remember that last week I raised, and I'm hoping the Chairman of National Security would listen, Honorable Mumati.
And the Vice Chair.
And the Vice Chair, if they could listen to this. Mr. Speaker, you'll remember that last week on Thursday, I did raise a question addressed to the department, the Committee on National Security, and it was by private notice. Mr. Speaker, you did direct that they bring an answer within 7 days. I was seeking your direction as to whether the chair or vice chair might be able to give us an answer today. Thank you.
Chair, the chair is here.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. And indeed, it is true. We took an undertaking that we deliver in 7 days, but today we had engagement with the CAS, Interior, and they asked for your indulgence that we do it on Tuesday so that they put up a few pieces of information that is not collated together, then we can give it comprehensively on Tuesday.
That's okay with you, Honorable Tiedemolo?
Yes, that's fine, Mr. Speaker, provided they give it on Tuesday. The family is really under deep agony.
Very well. Tuesday, Honorable Mwadhi. First question by the member for Wundanyi, Honorable Dan Mwashako. Any communication from the member? You don't appear his size and his complexion. No, it doesn't happen that way here. Members know how they communicate with the chair. They write to the clerk or to the speaker. That thing of being sent from the streets, people, the next thing, when we have no evidence of it, we allow you to ask the question, and the next day the member comes and says he never gave any such instructions. How we will look very casual ourselves. The next question by the member for Marsabit County. Honorable Safia.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I raise to ask question number 377 of 2021 in today's order paper, and it is directed to the Cabinet Secretary for Health. What is the status of the implementation of the Universal Health Coverage Program in the country? When does the government intend to fully implement the said program across the country to enable all persons access quality and available medical coverage in view of the COVID-19 pandemic? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. That will be responded to before the committee, Departmental Committee on Health. The next question by the member for Kitui Rural, Boni Malika.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask question 419/2021. Directed to the Minister, Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury and National Planning. One, could the Cabinet Secretary provide the list of firms registered to undertake betting and gaming activities in the country? Two, could the Cabinet Secretary outline the impact or benefits to the Kenyan economy arising from betting and gaming activities by the betting companies? Three, could the Cabinet Secretary state the amount of tax revenue generated from betting and gaming activities through broadcast media in Kenya for the last 2 years and provide tax compliance status of all the registered betting and gaming companies? Four, could the Cabinet Secretary provide details of cases of money laundering activities, if any, that may have been undertaken through betting and gaming activities in the country, and indicate steps taken to monitor data arise and prosecute the conflicts? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next, it will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning. Next question by the nominated member, Honorable Osotsi.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to ask question number 420 of 2020, directed to the Cabinet Secretary for Lands and Physical Planning, and it reads: one, what is the ownership status of parcels of land within Mautuma Central Settlement Scheme in Lugari Sub-County, Kakamega County, that were allocated to several landowners from Vihiga County as compensation following compulsory acquisition of their land by the government in the year 2001 to create space for the construction of the Vihiga District Headquarters, which is presently Vihiga County Headquarters. 2, could the Cabinet Secretary confirm claims that some landowners whose land was acquired by the government settled back in their original land in Vihiga County following challenges in occupying the allocated land in the new settlement scheme? 3, Mr. Speaker, here there is an error which I think they will rectify. It's supposed to read, 3, what is the ownership status of the parcel of land, LR number, South Maragoli /Bugonda /2097 within Mbale town? 4, what specific steps is the ministry taking to assist the rightful owners of the parcel of land in 3 above and the local community, considering the challenges faced in settling on the land allocated by the government within Mautuma settlement scheme and the court ruling in the case number 65 of 2020? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Lands. Last question by the member for Tigania East, Honorable Kabiabe.
Thank you, Speaker. This afternoon, I rise to ask a question for 22 of 2021, which is directed to the Cabinet Secretary for Defense. And I go straight to ask the question. Could the Cabinet Secretary explain why the Kenyan Defense Forces officers in School of Artillery and 78th Battalion garrisons located in Isiolo and Meru counties respectively continue to harass the residents of Tigania East constituency despite the existence of court order stopping such harassment? What steps is the ministry taking to ensure peaceful coexistence between the KNDF officers in the two garrisons and civilians in Tigania East constituency? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
It will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Defense and Foreign Relations. For the second time, question by the member for Wudanyi. Member having not communicated to the Speaker and not being present, question is dropped. Second segment is on requests for statements. And there's a request from the Honorable Mule.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to request for a statement on disappearance and subsequent death of Abakar Muri Nduva, a resident of Matungulu constituency. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order number 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security regarding disappearance and subsequent death of Abakar Muli Nduva of ID number 27227194 at Tala Market in Matungulu constituency, Machakos County. Honorable Speaker, on Thursday, 16th September 2021, at around 10:45 p.m., police officers from Tala Police Station arrested Mr. Nduva for alleging domestic violence and was taken to Tala Police Station. On Friday, 17th, the wee hour of the morning, at 4:45 a.m., the mother, Ms. Katumbi, was involved by persons identified as police officers that Mr. Nduva had taken acid while in custody and had been rushed to Kangundo District Hospital. Upon reaching the hospital, the family was informed that Mr. Nduva had been transferred to Kenyatta National Hospital for further treatment, Mr. Speaker. At Kenyatta National Hospital, they searched all the registry for patients who had been booked in the hospital the previous night, only to find out that the body of Mr. Nduva lying at the mortuary. Honorable Speaker, further inquiry by the family was provided with a case/death summary report from KNH of Mr. Nduva, which certified that he died on 17th September 2021 at 10:47 p.m. at Kenyatta National Hospital. On 28th September 2021, a postmortem was conducted in the presence of the family, the police, by both government pathologists and a private pathologist hired by the family, confirmed that the cause of death was the result of head injury due to blunt trauma. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security on the following. 1, could the chairperson explain why the police officers at Tala Police Station took so long to relay the correct information to the parents of the deceased? 2, could the chairperson explain why whether the ministry has identified those who caused the death and the status of investigation into the death and action taken against those who were involved, Mr. Speaker? 3, Mr. Speaker, could the chairperson state whether the government has commenced an inquest into the death of Mr. Nduva Muli, aka Toto? 4, Mr. Speaker, could the ministry consider compensating the family of the deceased for the loss of their loved one, and within which timelines the ministry is supposed to do that? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Undersigned, Honorable Stephen Mule, MP Matungulu.
Chair, Administration and National Security Committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I agree with the Honorable Member that the matter that he has raised are weighty, but if you can give us 2 weeks, we'll be able to respond to that issue. Thank you.
Very well. Next segment is leader majority.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 44-2A, I rise to give the following statement on behalf of the House Business Committee, which met on Tuesday, the 5th of October, 2021, to prioritize business for consideration. Honorable Speaker, let me take this opportunity to indicate that at this point in the session, a majority of the government bills have currently undergone second reading and other stages while we continue to make progress with committee and individual members' bills. However, I'm aware that there are still a number of bills pending consideration before the committees. I wish to reiterate the commitment of the House Business Committee in ensuring that all bills introduced in the House are fully processed before the expiry of the term of this 12th Parliament. However, that commitment is only attainable if the committees expedite the consideration of all pending bills. It takes all of us to get there, and I urge, therefore, encourage committees to finalize this important work. Now, Speaker, on Tuesday, the 12th of October 2021, the House is scheduled to undertake Committee of the Whole House on the Waqf Bill 2019 and the second reading of the Health Laws Amendment Bill of 2021. The House would also consider committee reports on the following matters: the session of paper number 1 of 2021 on the national water policy. Number 2, the ratification of the bilateral air service agreement between Kenya and the Republic of South Africa and between Kenya and the Republic of Botswana. The ratification of the bilateral air service agreement between the government of Kenya and the government of the Russian Federation. And Honorable Speaker, in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 42A, 5, and 6, I wish to convey that the following cabinet secretaries are scheduled to appear before the departmental committees as follows. The first, the Cabinet Secretary for Transport, Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development is scheduled to appear on Thursday, the 14th of October, before the Departmental Committee on Transport, Public Works and Housing to respond to the following questions. Question number 242 of 2021 by Honorable Obara regarding the plea that the Chebera-Sikri stretch of the Kisumu-Kisii Road should be well marked and access culverts installed. Number 2, question number 205 of 2021 by Honorable Omar Mwinyi on the status of development of the Dogokundu Special Economic Zone in Mombasa County. Number 3, question number 286 of 2021 by the Honorable Simba Arati regarding the policy guidelines in place with respect to the maximum number of residential apartment units and floors which may be developed in the area within Nairobi City where a parcel of land LR 209/3289 measuring 0.3661 hectares is located. Question number 4, question number 333, 2021, by Honorable George Theuri on the barricades being erected along Outer Ring Road in Nairobi, particularly between Taj Mahal Stage and Allsops, to prevent pedestrians from crossing below footbridges located between the two locations. Question number 344 of 2021, again by George Theuri, regarding the inordinate delays in the allocation of stalls in the new Wakulima Market located along Kangudo Road to small-scale traders. Number 6 is question number 341 of 2021 by the Honorable Gabriel Kago on the upgrading of the 15-kilometer Nyaga-Kiambururu-Kamushege Road in Githunguri constituency to bitumen standards. Question number 338 of 2021 by the Honorable Joshua Kandie, again regarding the maximum utilization of Eldoret International Airport for both passengers and cargo. Question number 356 of 2021 by the Honorable Badi Twalib regarding the construction of Madafuni Jitoni Rabai Road in Jomvu constituency of Mombasa County. Question number 365 of 2021 by the Honorable Daniel Manzo regarding the stalled government civil servant housing in Wote Town, Makueni constituency. Question number 366 of 2021 by the Honorable Innocent Momanyi on the construction of the 25-kilometer Kebuko, Nyangusu, Nyamache, Nyancheki Road in Bobasi. Question number 381 of 2021 by the Honorable Oku Kaunya on the construction of the Busia Maraba Road. And the 12th is question number 390 of 2021 by the Honorable Memusi Kanchori, MP, on the construction status of the roads under contract number Kura /development/headquarter 336 of 2019 to 2020. The Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Culture and Heritage is scheduled to appear on Tuesday, the 12th of October, before the Departmental Committee on Sports, Culture and Tourism, again, to respond to the following questions. Question number 115 of 2021 by the Honorable David Gekaria regarding the Kenya Premier League match fixing and betting. Question number 181 of 2021 by the Honorable Christopher Omlene regarding the funds collected at the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund. Question number 213 of 2021 by the Honorable Malulu Injendi on the comprehensive insurance for national team players and their dependents. Question number 202 of 2021 by the Honorable Gideon Keter regarding the rehabilitation of Kenya National Archives. and question number 300 of 2021 by the Honorable Marwa Maisori on the protection of indigenous languages. The Cabinet Secretary for Labor is scheduled on Tuesday, 12th of October, before the Departmental Committee on Labor and Social Welfare to respond to question number 331 of 2021 by the Honorable Kipsengeret Koros on the bilateral agreement on health workforce collaboration between Kenya and the United Kingdom. Similarly, the Cabinet Secretary for Industrialization, Trade and Enterprise Development is scheduled to appear on Tuesday, the 12th of October, before the Departmental Committee on Trade, Industry and Cooperatives to respond to question number 291 of 2021 by the Honorable Omar Mwinyi, MP, regarding the revival of the Akamba handcrafts industry and soapstone carving business. Lastly, the Cabinet Secretary for Petroleum and Mining is scheduled to appear before the Departmental Committee on Environment and Natural Resources on Thursday, the 14th of October, 2021, to respond to question number 368, 2021, by the Honorable Charles Were on the quarry mining activities in Kasipur constituency. Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee will reconvene on Tuesday, the 12th of October, 2021, to schedule the business for the rest of the week. I now wish to lay this statement on the table of the House. Thank you.
Next order. Next order.
Order number 11, motion. Consideration of the income tax exception on the set-off package payable to employees of the Kenya Airways PLC.
The Chairman, Committee on Delegated Legislation. Point of order? Mr. Amadi.
Honorable Speaker, I rise on a point of order persuading you to invoke the provisions of Standing Order number 1 regarding a matter that you previously invoked the same standing order in regard to the public petition regarding insecurity in Saku constituency and the larger Marsabit County. Honorable Speaker, in this matter, you ordered that we do this report and it is discussed here in the Assembly. Indeed, the committee proceeded and did the report, presented, and debate has ensued. But along the way, Honorable Speaker, there has been presented amendments to the same report, amendments which would require to be considered by the committee, especially amendment number 20, which states that the national government should compensate victims for the loss of lives, properties, and livelihoods as a result of this conflict. Honorable Speaker, what this means is that it will occasion expenditure from public funds. And under Article 114, Honorable Speaker, this will require further consultation between the members of the committee and the relevant arms of government, including budget and appropriation. And with your indulgence, I had scheduled a meeting on Tuesday for our committee to consider the further recommendations that are done by Honorable Russell, and especially in view of making them operational, so that by the time I do the reply, I'll be able to say how we have considered the matter among those relevant organs as provided for in Article 114. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. So I am requesting that you defer this matter, Honorable Speaker, to Wednesday afternoon to allow us to meet on Tuesday, and then the debate can ensue and proceed further on Wednesday while we assist of all the provisions and we are able to respond.
Now, what Honorable Russell.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I have heard the Honorable Chair of Security and Administration, and I totally disagree with that position. This petition has been before this House since last year. It has taken almost 1 year and 2 months. The people who are waiting for this are waiting for justice. What he has done, he has picked something very selective. Honorable Speaker, I beg your indulgence. The debate on this particular report has already begun. The people of Saku and Marsabit are waiting for feedback from this House. I think justice delayed is justice denied. The Honorable Chair should actually not move something from the floor of the House, yet he was privy to this almost the whole of last week and the whole of this week. Honorable Speaker, I beg you to allow, using Standing Order number 1, for the debate to proceed. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Do you want to go to the debate or you? Now it looks like it becomes now Honorable Gufu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think I must say what Honorable Raso has rightly put it is the way to go. Remember, Mr. Speaker, last week, we were here in this House, and even the chairman and the vice chair were not in this House, showing actually that this is just a petty issue. When Moyale or Marsai people are dying and they want justice from the government of Kenya, where they belong. And we are saying, Mr. Speaker, we are just saying we are making an amendment to this report. So I think I don't know what is scaring really the chairman for him to bring such kind of statement at this hour when we are actually about to debate the report. Mr. Speaker, I think that's very unfair. It is unacceptable. The chair of security should actually brought those amendments by himself instead of Honorable Raso bringing. And I request you for the amendment or the motion to go on. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now all of you want to speak to the request for. That's what all of you want to speak to. Now, so you need to educate me on how to exercise my powers and Standing Order number 1. You want to persuade me not to use it? Let me hear those who want to persuade me then. And make sure that you persuade me. Honorable Jaldesa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am glad, Mr. Speaker, you are the one personally sitting on that chair because you are the hope for those of us who have been marginalized for a long time in this country. And I cannot wait to give you my vote come 2022 to be the next president of this country. Mr. Speaker, having said that, I want to agree with the position of Honorable Raso. Mr. Speaker, this committee, and we must really speak what is in our heart, this Committee of National Security needs to be really interrogated. It must rise to the occasion. Mr. Speaker, personally, I have brought 2 statements regarding the insecurity of the people of Isiolo to this House in July. To date, nothing. I have not gotten a response. The other year, Mr. Speaker, I raised an issue on boundary, nothing. Mr. Speaker, clearly, and I hope I will not name somebody here because we have evidence.
Member for Matungulu, don't take your seat. Go to the door. You can't walk from here. You know, I told you I'm always very Hawkeye. Proceed, Honorable Rem.
Mr. Speaker, this committee is being used by some people somewhere to propagate local politics of hate, of division, of intimidation. Mr. Speaker, this report was debated. Actually, I was on the floor when I was told I had a balance of 7 minutes to discuss. Today, I had a funeral to attend, but because this matter is very important, I had to stay. Mr. Speaker, the people of Saku, the people of Isiolo have been denied their rights. And we know what is happening. Even as we are seated here, I saw the vice chair of this committee moving around, trying to mobilize members. Therefore, it is not right. We don't want to allow the agenda of UPIA to be brought to this house to deny us our right. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, allow us to proceed with this debate. Thank you so much.
Don't even get agitated. I'll give you a chance. Don't worry. Honorable Fatuma Gedi.
Mr. Speaker, it is really sad. It is really sad and unacceptable, Mr. Speaker, that the honorable member said she saw me moving. Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge her. There is a camera in this house. Since I've entered 2:30 this house, I've been in this chair. I want to challenge her, Mr. Speaker, and I want you, Mr. Speaker, to find out whether I have moved from this chair from 2:30. If she cannot substantiate, Mr. Speaker, then you must take actions from her. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I am the vice chair of this committee. And I'm sorry to say this, Mr. Honorable Raso, you cannot benefit from mischief. He is the one who has made this committee not to proceed with this matter. Mr. Speaker, through his amendments, the committee is ready and we are very fair. This committee, Mr. Speaker, have gone to Marsabit County. We have the evidence of videos from the committee, from the communities that he represents. We have audios. We do not side with any. We are doing our work. Him himself, Mr. Speaker, he has been mentioned in this report. The same member of parliament, he wants to benefit from the privilege of this house to bring amendments to fight certain communities. Mr. Speaker, we are fair. We are fair and we have evidence. This committee has relied on the recommendation from the ground, the communities of Marsabit, the County Security Committee, the National Intelligence Service, NCIC, and the committee of this house. So please, Mr. Speaker, we do not want politics of Marsabit. We do not want politics of division. Mr. Honorable Raso himself, we have evidence. And Mr. Speaker, if you allow us, we can bring evidence to this house that how he has killed innocent people and innocent children.
Now, let's not get to, please don't get, sorry, Honorable Fatuma Gedi. Now, honorable members, let me not, I don't think whether now, if we go this route, we will not be addressing the issue. No. Let me just exercise my discretion as I best know how. The proposed amendment, the specific item on the amendment, number 20, no, it is number 20. The Honorable Mwadi referred to what is item number 20. No, I'm referring to what the Honorable Mwadi raised. The proposed amendment is, and if we read it from the way that the motion be amended by inserting the following after figure 2021. And it goes on to say, subject to the following. A, deletion of recommendation 2, and then deletion including, Ambalo, deletion, then Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination to, as a matter of urgency, ensure adequate National Police Service personnel are deployed. That, I think, is a reasonable one. But again, honourable members, it is you. I'm only supposed to exercise my discretion where issues to do with the Constitution are referred to. This, I think, is up to you to make the determination. Deletion of the words Koso, Banchale, Salesa, Isako, Umuro, whatever that may mean, that's again for you. 17, Cabinet Secretary, Lands and Fiscal Planning and the National Crime Commission as a matter of urgency should address the disputes and clearly demarcate administrative, and that is a reasonable request. 18, Cabinet Secretary for Interior should rationalize the creation of new sub-counties in Marsabit. That again is a matter for the executive, so the House can direct. There's no problem. 19th, Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of Government should facilitate the return of Kenya. That again is a legitimate expectation. Now, the contentious one is that the national government should compensate victims for loss of lives, properties, and livelihoods as a result of this conflict. Those are what do you mean, 8? Now, well, let me say this. If the House resolves that the national government should compensate victims, the process of seeking compensation from government, as you all know, is one that involves dispute resolution through the judiciary. And therefore, it's a matter that is neither here nor there. The commission of inquiry will be established again. That there's no harm in the House resolving in this manner. This has happened in the past. It's not the first time without any hindrance. So, well, let me say, honourable members, rather than provoke the kind of intense anxiety that I've just witnessed a few moments ago, I will leave this matter for the decision of the House. The House will proceed and deal with the matter as you best understand. Since I have no vote, I'm perfectly protected by Article 122. So it is you to make the decision, honestly. Try to persuade one another about these amendments. But in any event, since that matter is not the one immediately for consideration, I will leave it for the House to deal with when it is reached. So let's just proceed. We just proceed. Honorable Kamket, the chair of Committee on Delegated Legislation.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the income tax exemption on the send-off package payable to employees of Kenya Airways, legal notice number 115 of 2021, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 1st of September 2021. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a very simple motion.
You know, the motion doesn't seem to read the way you have. So I'm wondering what are you up to?
What?
You've jumped to legal notice, and I don't know, there's a lot of other stuff in between. Is the House supposed to consider those things? Move the motion as it is.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the income tax exemption on the send-off package payable to employees of Kenya Airways, PLC 2021, legal notice number 115. Laid on the table. I don't have the. I'm sorry.
You can't say you don't have. Well, then what are you moving? Who prepares these things for?
Mr. Speaker, sir, apologies for that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of income tax exemption on the send-off package payable to employees of Kenya Airways, PLC 2021, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, September 29, 2021, and that pursuant to the provisions of Section 13(3) of the Income Tax Act, Cap 470, approves the income tax exemption on send-off package payable to employees of Kenya Airways, PLC 2021, published as legal notice number 115 of 2021. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I was about to say that this is a very positive application of the law and power by the Cabinet Secretary in terms of assisting the employees of Kenya Airways who were retrenched because of financial issues that the airline has experienced because of, among other reasons, the closure of international airspace due to the COVID pandemic. Mr. Speaker, sir, the main purpose, therefore, of this exemption is to Mr. Speaker, sir, as indicated in respect of legal notice number 115, is to exempt income tax on the send-off package of 187 Kenya Airways employees who left the company between January and March 2021. Mr. Speaker, sir, the send-off package which is sought to be exempted amounts to 3 months' salary paid in lieu of notice, severance pay, and payments for accumulated leave days due to those employees. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Kenya Airways will therefore reduce its cost of operations, which will have a positive impact on the solvency status of the airline. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have, as a committee, looked at this statutory instrument, and we have determined that this statutory instrument met all the statutory timelines, and it met all the other statutory requirements, and would therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Standing Order number 210(4), and having examined the legal notice number 115 in line with the Constitution, the Interpretation of the General Provisions Act, the Income Tax Act, Cap 470, recommend that this House approves this legal notice. The collective bargain agreement, the employees were also represented, the employees we are talking about were represented in the collective bargain agreement, where the representatives of the requested for improvement of the send-off package, and where, therefore, the staff will be exempted from income tax to allow them to to go into retrenchment or retirement with a good package for themselves. So Mr. Speaker, sir, in very simple terms, this is a very positive application of the law to help Kenyans who are retrenched, and the law allows the Cabinet Secretary to exempt them from the income tax, and we believe that with the approval of this assembly, these Kenyans will be able to live comfortably. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, with those few remarks, I beg to move and ask my colleague, the Honorable Mother Wangari, to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Gilgil.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second this report that has been ably moved by our chairman. And Mr. Speaker, despite that, knowing that Kenya Airways has had very numerous issues in terms of profitability, our committee mandate is very limited in terms of what we were to look at. We were to look at the conforming, to ensure that this conformed to the law. That is the Income Tax Act, the Statutory Instruments Act, and the Constitution as a supreme law of the land. And Mr. Speaker, having gone through it and listened to the Cabinet Secretary, we know by law this is not classified strictly as a statutory instrument, but this notice in the Gazette is meant to come to this House under Income Tax Act Caps 470. And Mr. Speaker, the issue of COVID-19 for the last 2 years has really affected many companies, and KQ is not spared. Despite the troubles it already had, it actually sank deeper. And Mr. Speaker, the management and the board is trying to encourage voluntary retrenchment, and one of the issues they have raised, Mr. Speaker, is this issue of ensuring that if you're given exemption for the packages that are send-off packages, Mr. Speaker, more and more people will take it up. And Mr. Speaker, a total of 187 members of this company have agreed to leave. That is between January 2021 and March 2021, that is this year. And so, Mr. Speaker, we were totally convinced as a committee that it is the right thing to do. And Mr. Speaker, because this came at the right time, we checked all the timelines, we checked all the concurrence with the law, Mr. Speaker, and they were in time. So, Mr. Speaker, we looked at the legislative context. We actually looked at the grounds of exemption as they presented, Mr. Speaker, and we are in agreement that these are also Kenyans that actually work and have families, Mr. Speaker. And we agreed that in mitigation and in encouraging other members and other government statutory bodies to actually look into rationalization of staff, Mr. Speaker, that this can set a good precedent not only for KQ, but for other government institutions and for other parastatals and for other statutory bodies, that they can look at it in terms of ensuring that we encourage that when we have retrenchment, we actually ensure that their income is a good package for them to start life afresh. So with those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order members, order those who are mobile. I propose the question, which is that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the income tax exemption on the set-off package payable to employees of the Kenya Airways PLC 2021, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, September 29, 2021, and pursuant to provisions of Section 13, subsection 3 of the Income Tax Act, Cap 470, approves the income tax exemption on the set-off package payable to employees of the Kenya Airways PLC 2021, published as legal notice number 115 of 2021. Leader Majority wishes to contribute.
Yes.
He has precedence.
Honorable Speaker, I want to I rise to support the Committee on Delegation on this matter. It's a fairly emotive matter for the staff of Kenya Airways. As you know, COVID has really disorganized the way travel industry is operating. Kenya Airways was in a special category that it was already hemorrhaging and suffering even before COVID, So it's only a bad situation that has been made worse. And so for the staff who are affected, they're not just affected in terms of the layoffs, but even the ones who, even before that layoff, they've been also affected in several other ways in terms of reduced incomes and reduced allowance, because they don't travel. And hence, this package, by exempting them from paying the taxes on whatever they are said of package, it really helps to cushion them in these difficult times. And it's been done before. I do remember even when we had to lay off the staff of the telecom after the reorganization of the former Kenya Posts and Telecommunication, we applied the same standard. So again, this is not the first time it's actually been done. It's been done before on redundancies that are a result from reorganizations or when the matters like this come to the floor. But because of the changes that came with the constitution, or the 2010 constitution, which basically then said any of those exemptions have to be approved by this House, then hence the need to bring this for approval here. And I hear members really don't want to are in total support of this, so I want to just make sure that we members understand that it's our duty to do it, and I'm happy that we are in support of Kenya Airways staff at this point. I support.
No, remember, the question was proposed, and it was moved, and is it the desire of the House that the mover be called upon to reply? Is that the desire of the House? Can I get it? That I put the question, which is that the mover be called upon to reply. Will as many as have opinion say aye? As many of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to reply.
Honourable members, I therefore put the question, which is that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the income tax exemption on the set-off package payable to employees of the Kenya Airways PLC 2021, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, September 29, 2021, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 13, Subsection 3 of the Income Tax Act, Cap 470, approves the income tax exemption on the set-off package payable to the employees of the Kenya Airways PLC 2021, published at legal notice number 115 of 2021. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Aye. As many of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Order number 12, motion. Consideration of outstanding funds payable to the National Government Constituencies Development Fund by the National Treasury.
The Chairman, Select Committee on National Government Constituencies Development Fund, Honorable Wamunyi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Select Committee on National Government Constituency Development Fund on the outstanding funds payable to the National Government Constituency Development Fund by the National Treasury, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021. Mr. Speaker, we are all aware of the arrears that have not been released by the Treasury in respect of previous financial years for Constituencies Development Fund. Mr. Speaker, and as you're aware, our committee is mandated under Section 50 of the CDF Act in order to oversee the policy framework and legislative matters that may arise in relation to the fund, and to continuously undertake a review of the framework set out for the efficient delivery of development programs financed through the CDF. In view of this, Madam Speaker, our committee resolved to consider the matter of the 4.9 billion arrears that is owed to the fund by the National Treasury with a view of finding a solution, deliberating on the reasons as to why the said arrears have been occasioned, and determining modalities for ensuring that the said arrears have been remitted to the CDF board for onward transmission to the constituencies. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, nearly all constituencies are owed between 10 and 15 million. If this amount is released, Madam Speaker, we will ensure that the constituencies get these monies for the implementation of projects for which they were earmarked. And Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, you know, Mr. Speaker had just left. I didn't notice when he left. In addressing this issue, the committee established a subcommittee because there were a number of allegations that these funds needed to be investigated, needed to be audited, and so on and so forth. So we set up a subcommittee of 7 members, which was chaired by the Honorable Joseph Oyula, who is a career servant at the Treasury, a former career servant at the Treasury, where he was as the Secretary, Financial Secretary, Madam Speaker. Now, Madam Speaker, the committee that was set up came up with a report, which I tabled, and is the one that I'm seeking adoption. This report, Madam Speaker, established that the National Treasury did not adhere to Section 4 of the National Government CDF Act 2015 as amended in 2016 that states that a minimum of 2.5% of national government share of revenue shall be allocated to the CDF as divided by Annual Division of Revenue Act enacted pursuant to Article 218 with an objective of addressing poverty and regional development imbalances. Madam Speaker, the committee also established that the National Treasury affirmed in a letter of 1st December 2020, which is annexed, that the arrears of 4.9 billion was not remitted to the National Government CDF Board due to revenue underperformance. Therefore, Madam Speaker, the committee recommended, as a result of those observations, the committee recommended that the National Treasury should adhere to Section 4 of the National Government CDF Act 2015 as amended in 2016 by ensuring that the 2.5% of national shareable revenue has been remitted to the CDF within the specified period of a financial year. Secondly, Madam Speaker, the committee recommended that the National Treasury should ensure that the 4.9 billion being arrears for the previous financial years is released without any delay in order for the implementation of projects to be undertaken. Those projects have not been implemented because of these arrears, Madam Speaker. In any case, Madam Speaker, once this report is adopted, the Treasury will be obligated to release these funds. It has become clear that the Treasury never released these funds, and therefore you cannot audit or investigate what has not been expended. So it is a straightforward matter. It is very clear the Treasury is supposed to release these funds, and it is going to raise what is due to members in the constituencies. Madam Speaker, With these remarks, I would like to remind members that while we have this challenge of arrears, the National Treasury has already released full amount for the first quarter, amounting to 10.4 billion. Now, this is supposed to go to constituencies, but not all constituencies have submitted proposals. I think we have about 40 constituencies that have not submitted proposals for consideration so that funds can be released to them. The other ones are under consideration. About 40 funds have been released. The others are under consideration. The board is meeting every week. It's meeting, I think, Friday, tomorrow, and next week, Thursday, to consider those proposals, and then funds will be released to the constituencies. But I want to appeal to colleagues who have not submitted project proposals to do the same. You are the people that occasion these arrears when you are left behind, and funds will not be released to your constituents. Mr. Speaker, I therefore want to appreciate the Treasury towards that. I think they have done well this time. If this continues, we're going to make sure that by December we have 50% of the funds, and early next year, first quarter, we complete 100%. And constituencies should be able to implement the CDF projects without disruption, without any hindrance, Madam Speaker. Having said that, I think I would like, Madam Speaker, to move and to ask the distinguished member for Butula to second, the Honorable Joseph Oyula.
The Honorable Oyugi for seconding.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to support the report on outstanding funds payable to the National Government Constituency Development Fund by the National Treasury as moved by the Chair. Honorable Speaker, I chaired the subcommittee that went into verification of the documents at the NGCDF offices. And through our verification, Honorable Speaker, and the analysis that we had, it's evident that in the financial year 2011-2012, there was a balance of 541,750,000, which the Treasury did not release. While financial year 2013-2014, the Treasury did not release Kenya shillings 2,128,500,000. And the financial year 2014-2015, Treasury did not release 2,302,946,750, all totaling to 4,973,196,750 Kenya shillings. Non-remittance of the said funds has negatively impacted implementation of projects in some constituencies, such as Mandera West constituency, which has a balance of nearly 72,133,983 in the financial year 2013-2014. Madam Speaker, the subcommittee, and which reported to the committee, concluded that the Treasury still owes the NGCDF board a total of 4,973,196,750, which the Treasury should put in the supplementary budget the forthcoming supplementary budget so that the constituencies that were affected should be able to get this money. Madam Speaker, with those few remarks, I beg to second. Thank you.
Order, members. Order. The members who absent, you can resume your seat. You can just take your seat. Honorable Russell, so also that I proposed a question. Very well, members, I propose the question, which is that this House adopts the report of the Select Committee on National Government Constituencies Development Fund on the outstanding funds payable to the National Government Constituencies Development Fund by the Treasury, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 22nd September 2021. I can see we have interest. And the members who are on intervention, please can you remove your card from intervention so that the speaker can be guided very well on any member who has intervention. Is the feeling of the House, on the mood of the House, I put the question? Then I move to put the question, which is that this House adopts I move to now call upon the mover to reply. The mover to reply.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I wish to thank the House for supporting the report and its adoption. And I want just to appeal to the Budget Committee, Budget and Appropriation Committee, that once this report is adopted, they will also be required to make sure that this is captured in the supplementary budget to ensure that funds flow to the constituencies. With those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to reply.
Then with that, having the motion moved, no interest to speak to it, and replied, I now move to put the question, which is that this House adopts the report of the Select Committee on National Government Constituencies Development Fund on the outstanding funds payable to the National Government Constituencies Development Fund by the National Treasury, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 22nd September 2021. Honourable members, will as many as of this opinion say aye? Aye. And as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 13, motion. Report on a public petition regarding insecurity in Saku constituency and the larger Marsabit County. Resumption of debate.
Anyway, members, on motion number 13, we had a balance of 53 minutes. It's actually a resumption of debate, and we have the Honorable Jadesa, who had a balance of 2 minutes. And you always have priority in speaking. Please, the 2 minutes.
Madam Speaker, it's not 2 minutes, it was 7 minutes.
The clerks have already established it was 2 minutes. And because all members have only 5 minutes in debate of a report as passed by the House, please be advised.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, I rise to...
Now what is out of order? And the member has not even spoken. Honorable Pukosi.
Madam Speaker, without having any disrespect to our colleague, since there are amendments that are proposed, I wish that you give us guidance on how to proceed so that if we could make the amendments and then proceed with the motion as amended.
Order, order.
We don't allow amendments on the floor, and there must be advised whether there's an amendment that has gone through the procedure. Very well. Point of order. I've noted. I'll revisit. I'll come back to you. But for now, I cannot interrupt Honorable Jadesa in a debate. Honorable Jadesa, please just finish your 2 minutes.
Madam Speaker, I stand to be guided, but there was an approval to amend this report. Therefore, I don't know whether you will want to allow me to contribute to the report as it was or with amendment. However, Madam Speaker,
you were on the floor. Maybe let me guide you. You were on the floor.
Thank you.
Just had a balance of 2 minutes.
Madam Speaker, I rise to oppose the recommendation by the National Security Committee because in my view, Madam Speaker, the recommendation is biased. It profiles a certain community in Saku in a negative way. Madam Speaker, the recommendation by the committee fails to address the essence of the petition. Madam Speaker, it is such a shame for a committee of this House to admit in its report that indeed in this country we have an illegal militia group that is known by the government, and that the report does not give any solution to how the illegal militia will be handled. Madam Speaker, as I had said before, this Committee of National Security has reduced itself to a political party. Madam Speaker, this committee has portrayed biasness. Madam Speaker, this committee...
Order. Honorable Member for Isiolo. Honorable Member for Isiolo. Let me get a point of order from Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I don't sit in the Security Committee. And Madam Speaker, I'm just concerned, especially going by what had gone on before, on the floor of this House. That is the Honorable Member in order to be imputing improper motive on other members without a substantive motion, Madam Speaker. That is not the way the business of this House is conducted. And Madam Speaker, when we are dealing with the issues of national interest relating to security, Madam Speaker, it behoves on us as members of Parliament to behave responsibly.
Very well,
and not to make utterances that will cause other people in the constituencies to fight with each other. I don't understand the politics on that area, Madam Speaker, but it is actually very wrong what my good friend Jaldesa is doing.
Your point is well delivered. Honorable Jadesa, you must be able to substantiate some of these. These are committees. We have many committees of the House. If you have a complaint on a particular committee, please, can you do it in the official way?
Madam Speaker, I stand guided, but I have my reasons because, Madam Speaker, I had earlier indicated, like I have brought about 5 petitions to this House in the same committee, and 1.5 years down the line, it has not been responded to. Madam Speaker, I had raised a question to this committee since I joined this Parliament, and to date, Madam Speaker, it has not been responded to. Madam Speaker, if you had the opportunity to go through this report, you will clearly see that the recommendation is one-sided, it captures a certain narrative, and Madam Speaker, I do not understand why even an amendment that
Your time is up, but anyway, again, I need to order maybe the same committee as a matter of concern to be able to give the feedback to the Honorable Jadesa on the issues that he had raised in a petition. We have a proposed amendment to this report on the public petition regarding the insecurity in Saco constituency and the larger Marsabit County. That has already been captured in our order paper. And so at this point, we call upon Honorable Saku to move your proposed amendment.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the following amendment, but I want to take cognizance of this report, that this report did not cover all the ground. Honorable Speaker, the first amendment I beg to move is deletion of recommendation 2, appearing under recommendation in part 5 on page 90 of the report. Second, deletion of the words including Ambalo, Badarero, Elebor, Eledimtu, and Kubikalo after the word county in recommendation 4, appearing under recommendation in part 5 on page 90 of the report. Third, deletion of recommendation 8 to read as follows. The Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government, as a matter of urgency, ensures adequate National Police Service personnel are deployed to Marsabit and any existing gaps to be filled by Kenya Police Reservists in coordination and consultation with the National Police Service. 4, deletion of the words in Konsobanchale, Salesa, and Isagomuro after the word displaced person, the recommendation 4, appearing under recommendation in part 5. Fifth, insertion of the following new recommendation under recommendation in part 5 on page 92 of the report. The Cabinet Secretary for Lands and Physical Planning and the National Land Commission, as a matter of urgency, should address the disputes and clearly demarcate administrative and communal boundaries in Marsabit County. Amendment number 18, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government should rationalize the creation of new sub-counties in Marsabit County and address the current imbalances across the 4 constituencies, that is Saku, Laisamis, Nodor, and Moyale, as a matter of urgency. Amendment 19, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government should facilitate the return of Kenyan refugees in Ethiopia. Honorable Speaker, I'm jumping Amendment 20 with magnanimity because the Speaker almost ruled against this. Amendment 21, a commission, I'm dropping amendment number 20. Amendment number 21, a commission of inquiry should be established pursuant to the provision of the Commission of Inquiry Act, Cap 103, to comprehensively look into the perennial security problems of Marsabit County and come up with a lasting solution. Honorable Speaker, these amendments generally reflect a broad-based approach to this report, that all the communities of Marsabit are important, that the government has a responsibility to issue ID cards to make sure there are no armed groups in Marsabit. There are no attacks, that attacks on communities, on their properties, on their livelihood should not be allowed at all. Honorable Speaker, when we looked at the recommendation in this report, it was not comprehensive, although in the observation and causes of this conflict were adequately covered, particularly in the area of boundaries, land, and also in the area of politics. It is said in this report that one of the areas of concern for fighting in Marsabit is politics. But the report, in its recommendation, said Nothing at all. That is why we are including this additional recommendation. Honorable Speaker, we talked about the KPR. The KPR have been the bastion of protection in our communities, particularly in the pastoral communities who move around. When you take it away and you don't have enough police forces, then you make the communities vulnerable. And that is why we are saying, if you cannot deploy adequate forces, then give us KPR where there are gaps. Honorable Speaker, in the spirit to carry all along, I want to persuade my colleagues that as the petitioner, I am fully convinced that had we allowed this report to go the way it was, the report was skewed, it was biased, inefficient, and also it lacked a lot of substance that would eventually have addressed the problem of Marsabit. If we carry along this recommendation without bias, I think it is going to help this House and it is going to help this country in terms of taming and stemming the problem of perennial insecurity in Marsabit. I beg to move and ask Honorable Daktari to support.
Honorable Dr. Bukose, a second.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for allowing me to second the recommendations by Honorable Raso. I think Honorable Raso has been magnanimous because the Chair of Security had raised the issue of the national government, the recommendation number 20 of the national government should compensate victims for loss of lives, properties, livelihoods as a money issue. And Honorable Raso has been magnanimous enough to drop that amendment. So I think now that not being a contentious issue, I hope that everybody can now support these recommendations. And they are fairly general recommendations, recommendations that will go into resolving the issue of the people of Saku and Marsabit. So, Madam Speaker, the Honorable Raso is the petitioner.
Let him finish seconding first.
Honorable Raso is the petitioner of this motion, and being the petitioner, he understands the challenges his people are going through. And as we are aware, all of us as a country, Saku and Marsabit in general has been involved in a lot of matters in security. We've lost a lot of lives. So I think it will be upon us as a House to see how best we can be able to look at the people of Saku and people of Marsabit as Kenyans who deserve security like any other individual within this country. With those few remarks, I second.
Honourable members, I propose the question, which is that the motion be amended by inserting the following after figure 2021, subject to the following: A, deletion of recommendation 2 appearing under recommendation in part 5 on page 90 of the report. B, deletion of the words including Ambalo, Badan Rebro, Elebor, Eledimtu, and Kubigalo after the word country in recommendation number 4 appearing under recommendations in part 5 on page 90 of the report. C, members, deletion of recommendation number 8 appearing under recommendations in part 5 of page 91 of the report and substitution with the following. 8, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government as a matter of urgency ensures adequate National Police Service personnel are deployed to Marsabit and existing cabs to be filled by the Kenya Police Reservists in coordination and consultation with the National Police Service. D, deletion of the words in Koso, Banchale, Salesa, and Isako Umuro after the words displaced persons in recommendation number 4 appearing under the recommendations in part 5 on page 91 of the report. C, that is E, insertion of the following new recommendation under recommendations in part 5 on page 92 of the report. 17, the Cabinet Secretary for Lands and Physical Planning and the National Land Commission, as a matter of urgency, should address the disputes and clearly demarcate administrative and communal boundaries in Marsabit County. Number 18, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government should rationalize the creation of new sub-counties in Marsabit County and address the current imbalance across the 4 constituencies, which is Saku, Laisamis, North Horr, and Moyale, as a matter of urgency. Number 19, order. Order. No, it's good to direct them. Order, they must freeze. Number 19, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government should facilitate the return of Kenyan refugees in Ethiopia. It's on record that number 20 has been dropped by the Honorable Saku. And so 21, a commission of inquiry should be established pursuant to the provisions of the Commission of Inquiry Act Cap 103 to comprehensively look into the perennial security problems of Marsabit County and come up with a lasting solution. Now with that, I can give the members to contribute to this. And as the substantive speaker had indicated before, it is important for the members to ventilate. The House will take a position on the same. So please, and maybe for your guidance, order, Honorable 001. You don't shout from where you sit. We have to debate on the proposed amendment. Let me allow debates, just 1 or 2, as we also establish whether the House is properly constituted for some. Let me give Honorable Millie Odhiambo. Let me want to hear from 2 or 3 members.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, actually, I just wanted to find out whether the honorable member had dropped the amendment relating to victims because it was earlier contentious. But unfortunately, at the time when you are reading out your the motion, members were consulting loudly. So I actually didn't hear, because I just wanted to know, because otherwise I just wanted to inform him that you have the Victim Protection Act, and under the Victim Protection Act, there's a legal process. So it doesn't matter even if we pass it here, it still has to go to court. So otherwise, Madam Speaker, I'm just encouraging members that we need to encourage peace. Thank you.
Very well. That is quite in order. Let me get from the other side, the Honorable Sankok. I must establish whether the House is properly constituted, Honorable Gedi. And we can also not... Yes, Honorable Sankok.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. When it comes to matters of security, they are very important, because any insecurity in any part of this country is insecurity to the whole of this nation, because this nation is bounded by the boundaries and by the unity that we have as a unitary nation, Honorable Speaker. And this matter is very important. That is why we need to converse and discuss and debate. But the issue of putting the question, Honorable Speaker, especially coming from the Vice Chair of the committee responsible, Honorable Speaker, is a bit suspect, Honorable Speaker. First of all, this report have stayed in this House for more than 1.5 years, Honorable Speaker. And we have just come from where the Speaker made a ruling that we should go on because they wanted to postpone it again, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is a bit suspect, Honorable Speaker. And that is why we need to debate, Honorable Speaker, so that we can bring sanity in Marsabit, because sanity in Marsabit is sanity to the whole country, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Raso is the petitioner, and he knows what is happening in the ground. When they bring the amendments, Honorable Speaker, it is well-informed amendments, because he brought
Order. The members who are standing on the... Order. Honorable Raso, yourself, you're the one who was petitioned. Honorable Raso. Can I have the members resume their seats? You know where to consult from. You know how to consult, and please let us behave in a manner that portrays this house. Even if you have to consult, you can consult from the relevant area. You can walk to the seat of your member. Yes, Honorable Sankok.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for protecting me. I really needed that protection, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, why we are very emotive when it comes to the issues of insecurity. In any insecurity in any place of this country, those who suffer most are persons with disability. And I want to, first of all, even appreciate the Parliamentary Service Commission for employing somebody who is visually impaired to be one of the Hansard Fellows in this House, Honorable Speaker. Opanga Silas have been confirmed as one of the Hansard people in this August House, and is a person with visual impairment. We really do appreciate the Parliamentary Service Commission and the entire Parliament for considering persons with disability. We suffer a lot in places of insecurity, and that is why we have to speak on this matter, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in Marsabit, there have been a lot of intrigue, especially when it comes to conflict of interest of those who want to be governors, Honorable Speaker, and those leaders on the ground, Honorable. And that is why, Honorable Speaker, Raso brought a very good petition and even amendment, and he was even willing to drop an amendment that had money connotation so that we can move forward as a country and as Marsabit, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, and the issues of the pastoralist region is as if they are not being addressed properly in this country, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we have just come from insecurity in Laikipia. We have just come, now there is insecurity in Marsabit, and the petition have stayed in this house for 1.5 years. Why is insecurity in central Kenya and other places, Honorable Speaker, being addressed very fast? But when it comes to the security of the 80% of the landmass of this country is not addressed adequately and with efficiency, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, is shameful because some of those who don't even want this insecurity in our region, in the pastoral religion, to be addressed are members of the pastoralists themselves, communities, Honorable Speaker. It begs the question, are they really genuine to their people, Honorable Speaker? Honorable Speaker, we need to discuss this one, and I support the amendment.
Very well. The Vice Chairperson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. From the onset, I want to say that I'm the Vice Chair for Administration and National Security, and I do not have any interest on this matter. My interests are the people of Marsabit, the women, the children who have been killed, the children who cannot go to school, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, indeed it's true, the petition came before this committee, and the petitioner, Honorable Raso, brought the petition. Madam Speaker, as the committee, we gave a fair hearing. Madam Speaker, I want your indulgence, if you can allow me.
Please, can you just put on your mask so that we don't raise...
Sorry, Madam Speaker, for that. Madam Speaker, and
Order. Honorable Sankoko, you know we can hear you from where I sit.
You know,
please, can you give the vice chairperson time just to express ourselves?
we understand where he's coming from, so relax. Madam Speaker, what we did as a committee, we gave a fair hearing to both the petitioner and the people of Marsabit County. Madam Speaker, all the members of parliament from Marsabit County, Honorable Arbele and Honorable Chachu Ganya, and the governor of Marsabit, Madam Speaker, came before the committee. And also the cabinet secretary, Madam Speaker of National Treasury, who also comes from that region, and he was the governor of that county. Madam Speaker, the committee visited the county of Marsabit. We had a town hall meeting. We met all the communities of Marsabit. We also met the religious leaders, elders, women, youth. Madam Speaker, the committee invited, as you can see from the report, NCIC Commission. The committee invited, Madam Speaker, the Cabinet Secretary, Fred Matiang'i, to come and shed light the issues of Marsabit County. Madam Speaker, when we visited the county of Marsabit, the committee met the county security team.
And honourable members, we are just speaking to the proposed amendment. We'll still review
Sorry,
it.
Madam Speaker, let me
Yes,
just restrict myself to the amendments.
Yes, so that
Let me
is
just
so
restrict
fair.
myself to the amendment, Madam Speaker, and I want to state as follows. Madam Speaker, the person who...
Honourable Vice Chairperson Ali Fatuma Gedi, we have a point of order by the Honourable Wanga. And please let us not use this chance to debate. Just some... Yes, what is out of order, or what do you...
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, would I be in order to ask that you put the question on this amendment so that we dispense of it, so that members can make contribution to the substance of the report. Honourable Speaker, we want to make contribution to the substance of the report because the report that the committee did is comprehensive, it covers all the areas, and therefore we want to dispense of this amendment because it wants to dilute the report so that we can focus on the report. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Very well, as you had raised it before, I had confirmed that we did not have the requisite numbers, and I can still order that through the clerk's office to establish that the House is properly constituted for us to be able to put the question. Then, as that one is being looked at, Honourable Gedi, please just carry. And you restrict yourself just to the amendment.
Okay, Madam Speaker, I support the suggestion by Honourable Wanga, but again, I just want to restrict myself by the amendments. Madam Speaker, I want to say this. The committee, Madam Speaker, used time, resources to go and inquire or get the facts of the matter in Marsabit. Madam Speaker, it is not right, and I want to be on record. Honorable Raso, Madam Speaker, he's the petitioner. Honorable Raso, Madam Speaker, he has been mentioned in this report. Honorable Raso, Madam Speaker, is an interested party on this matter. The same person, Madam Speaker, cannot bring, Madam Speaker, and I want your protection, Madam Speaker, on this. The same person, Madam Speaker.
You are protected. You are protected.
Madam Speaker, protect me. The same person, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I need your protection.
Order.
Madam Speaker, let us not ban this country, Madam Speaker. This is House of Record. Madam Speaker, this is a country of law and order. Madam Speaker, you've entrusted the committee with this petition. And this is the committee report and the findings. Madam Speaker, I want to say
Honorable
this.
Gedi, maybe. Honorable Gedi, of course, we need to protect every other member. Honorable members, let us protect every other member so that we don't mention. Yeah, if you have to mention their member, it's important for you to be able. Please, can you have the member? Maybe she's going to mention, but she'll have to substantiate. But you have only 3 minutes now.
Madam Speaker, I want to mention...
You have only 1 minute.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, let us not ban this country. Let us not use the House privilege to bring amendments that does not favor or wants... I want to mention... Madam Speaker, go to observations and findings.
The Honorable Pukose.
Where Honorable Raso has been mentioned.
You can still ask if you
And I want to speak on record. Page 79, Madam Speaker, observation and findings, 302. The committee, now you have to give me time to explain, my friend. Madam Speaker, let us not bring politics to this.
You are protected, they are not on record.
Let us not bring politics. Madam Speaker, in the report, page 79, 302, that is where Honorable...
Okay, your 2 minutes are over. Honorable members, Honorable Jadesa, you had your time to speak to this. In fact, I'm going to rule you out of order. You cannot make noise in the House. And I'll take my position now. Other members, we only have 1 year. And your members, your voters can see the way maybe we don't know how to transact business. Let me have Honorable Nyikal. Maybe we can have some sanity.
Chair, I think Honorable Bugedi has raised a very important question that was going through my mind.
Order. And for the members who... Order. When the Speaker is speaking,
Madam Speaker.
You order a bit. Members, for those who are asking for put the question, I can tell you we are not in a position to put the question. In fact, we have 43 members. So if you can raise...
Chair,
yes.
Honorable Bugedi raised a very important question in my mind that I thought would address. That if I'm a petitioner and I bring a petition and there is a report, a substantive report, do I then bring amendments to that petition that basically rewrites a whole report? That is the point, Madam Speaker, that I would like you to guide on. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
And again, those who are not in the House, the Speaker reminded you, it is on record, that we can debate on this. It's you to convince the other members. It's on record. Let me have... let me give Honorable Emilio Adhiambo, yes?
Madam Speaker, going by just what you've said, this House is not properly constituted. We don't have quorum in this House. How do you proceed with the House? The Speaker, you have just said there is no quorum. And if we have no quorum, how are we proceeding without quorum? From your own mouth.
Now,
Madam Speaker, if we don't have quorum, I don't think we should proceed.
Very well. Honorable Emilio Adhiambo, as I was saying, we are not properly constituted for us to be able to put the question. And so you have the procedures, you have the standing orders. If you want to raise, you can do it. Are you raising? Then be on record.
Let me go on record, Madam Speaker, that we do not have quorum.
We do. Then for that matter, I do order the quorum division to be run. But before that, please confirm. I can see some members are coming in. Thank you. Let's confirm. Honorable Pukose, you are not a clerk. Let the clerks do their work. Honorable members. Yes, clerk, please can you confirm that we have quorum or we don't have the quorum? As raised by the Honorable Emilio Adhiambo. because it has to come from the member. Let the clerks do their work. Let the clerks do their work. This is a very emotive report, and it is important for us to do the right thing. Now, with the few members who have walked in, I can confirm that we have the quorum. So with that, the proposal of the members is to put the question. I want to order and give you direction that we will put the question in every part of the amendment. And so, no, they are very different. They are not related. So we put one question. So you are okay with every other? Very well. Honourable members, I put the question to the proposed amendment from the motion on report of public petition, which is that I put the question, order members. Today being on a Thursday, I can see your... Okay, order. Let me put the question now for you to be able to hear and make a determination. I move to put the question, which is that the motion be amended by inserting the following after the figure 2021, subject to the following. A, deletion of recommendation 2 appearing under recommendations part 5 on page 90 of the report. B, deletion of the words including Ambalo, Badan, Rero, Elebor, Dimtu, and Kubigalo after the word county in recommendation 4 appearing under recommendation in part 5 on the page 90 of the report. C, deletion of the recommendations 8 appearing under recommendations in part 5 of page 91 of the report and substituting it with the following. 8, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government, as a matter of urgency, ensures adequate National Police Service personnel are deployed to Marsabit and any existing cabs to be filled by the Kenya Police Service in coordination and consultation with the National Police Service. D, deletion of the words in Koso Bunchale, Salesa, and Isako Omuro after the words displaced persons in recommendation 4 appearing under recommendations in part 5 on page 91 of the report. E, insertion of the following new recommendations under recommendations in part 5 on page 92 of the report. 17, the Cabinet Secretary for Lands and Physical Planning and the National Land Commission, as a matter of urgency, should address the disputes and clearly demarcate administrative and communal boundaries in Marsabit County. 18, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government should rationalize the creation of new sub-counties in Marsabit County and address the current imbalance across the 4 constituencies, that is Saku, Laisamis, North Horr, and Moyale, as a matter of urgency. 19, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government should facilitate the return of Kenyan refugees in Ethiopia. On record, as per the order paper, number 20 has been dropped by the Honorable Saku. And so 21, Commission of Inquiry should be established pursuant to the provisions of Commissions of Inquiry Act, Cap 103, to comprehensively look into the perennial security problems of Marsabit County and come up with a lasting solution. Our members will, as many as are of that opinion, say aye. Aye. And as many as are contrary opinion, say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. Now, all the members, that is not the end of the motion. Now we go back to debate on the motion as amended. We are debating the motion as amended. Honorable Duale. And now we are going to debate the motion as amended. You may decide either to negate, to take it. Yes, Honorable Duale.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to thank members this afternoon because I was in Narok and I had to come and because this matter is matter of great importance. And as the patron of the Pastoralist Parliamentary Group, Madam Speaker, now that the recommendation, the amendments have been carried, and we are back to the motion, I really want to urge our members and colleagues in this House to rise to the occasion and that we handle the matter of insecurity in Mandera outside political partisanship, of Marsabit, outside regional politics, and let us talk to each other and talk to government that many people, since the Turbi massacre of many years, many lives were lost. Great leaders from the northern part of Kenya lost their life as a result of the conflict in Marsabit. Great leaders like Dr. Bonaya Godana, great leaders like my brother Sasura, key leaders, religious and public servants. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, we should not, if you don't come from Marsabit and you don't come from that region, you will not understand what we are talking about. It is very, very sad. As I was driving to Parliament this afternoon with Honorable Ichungwa, because there's a matter that concerns my county also in the order paper, that a matter as serious as this of Marsabit is being played into partisan politics. It is very, very sad. This House is supposed to protect lives and property of each and every Kenyan, regardless of his societal status, regardless of where he comes from, and which religion he believes in. And I really want to ask my good friend, the governor of Marsabit, and the former governor of Marsabit and current CES for National Treasury, to rise to the occasion as two great leaders who have in one way or the other be part of the political leadership of Marsabit. Honorable Raso is a man who has not seen peace since he became a member of parliament in 2013. The same with Honorable Chachu Ganya, who joined with me in the 10th parliament with Honorable Millie Odhiambo. These are the people who understand what is going on. The Gabra and the Borana community, like many other communities, have lived and they have no choice. It is the Almighty God who made them to be neighbors. And today we don't have the luxury of removing either the Boran or the Gabra and take them to another part of the country. We don't have that luxury. You can choose friends, but you can't choose your neighbors. It is God who destined that Gabras and the Boranas will live in Marsabit, in Saku, and in North Hor, and in Moyale constituency as brothers and sisters until the end of the world. Why are we leaders? We are leaders so that we preach peace and reconciliation. And I really want to ask this House that those of us who don't come from northern Kenya, please do not play party politics. Please, you come from the lake, you come from the mountain, you come from the rift, you don't know what is happening in the north. No, Honorable, you know you eat fish, we eat camel. Don't shout at me. I am not, you're not my, I'm not your boyfriend. Don't shout at me. Shame on you. I am not. No, you must protect me. I am a ranking member.
Honorable Duale, you are protected.
I'm not your boyfriend. Shame on you and sit down.
Honorable Duale, I don't know whom you are referring to. Honorable Duale, whom are you referring to not to be your boyfriend? Not to be your girlfriend or boyfriend? But is that a parliamentary language? Yes.
Chair, okay. Chair.
Honorable Duale,
let me apologize.
Yes, as you apologize.
Chair, let me withdraw. But Chair,
I am not even aware whom you are referring not to be your
boyfriend. Chair, you need to protect me.
Honorable Rosa, let me hear a point of order from Honorable Rosa. Honorable Duale, just submit. I hear what Honorable Rosa has. Yes, but you don't shout. Please get to. Yes, Honorable Rosa. No, these two members. It was only Duale who had the floor. No. Honorable Rosa. Yes, what is out of order?
Madam Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, is the honorable member in order to suggest that Rosa Buyu, as a honorable member, wants him to be her boyfriend? Madam Speaker, is in order.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, is in order to suggest. Madam Speaker, is in order to suggest that the only reason why he's here.
The Honorable Rosa. Okay,
Madam Speaker.
Honorable Rosa.
Okay, Madam Speaker, as a ranking member.
Did you tell her that you
I'm coming to. But Madam Speaker, as a ranking member and as a person who professes the Islamic faith and from a constituency, I have absolutely and don't need either in this house or outside any girlfriend, whether it is Rosa Buyu or what. And she should shut up. She should shut up.
Honorable Duale, just apologize for the language used.
You know, women, and there's no gender. I withdrew.
Very well. He's on record withdrawing.
She doesn't qualify to be my girlfriend. You don't qualify to be my girlfriend.
Order. Can we have Honorable Duale just finish your minutes of debates? You are on record. You are on record withdrawing the statement because it's not a parliamentary language. Okay. Duale. Honorable Duale, as order members. Order. Now you can resume your seat. Order, Honorable Millie. Rosa Mbuyu, Honorable Rosa Mbuyu. Honorable Sankok, you are out of order. Honorable Millie Odhiambo. The women are agitated. Honorable Millie Odhiambo, resume your seats. Honorable Vice Chairperson. Order, members, you're out of order. When I'm on my feet, you must resume. Otherwise, I'll order the sergeant at Amston. Order. 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 Honorable Rosa Buyi, we've heard you. Order. Order. Order, order. It seems the women versus the men, members of parliament. Order. Honorable Chairperson, Vice Chairperson, you had your time. Please, can you resume your seat? When the sergeant attempts... Yes, Honorable Rosa Mbuyi, please resume your seats. I'll make a ruling. Honorable, this member, very well. Order. Now you can see, Honorable Duale, what you invited for yourself. Order, order. No, that is our speaking area. Okay, Honorable Rosambuyu, honorable members, all of you out of order. Honorable Rosambuyu, you spoke to this. No, she was speaking from the dispatch box. Okay, okay. Honorable Rosambuyu, you expressed yourself. Okay, order. It's a very emotive report. In fact, Honorable Duale, you had already finished your minutes. I give it to someone else now.
Madam Speaker, so I ask the members of this House to rise to the occasion that we find a solution to Mandera Marsabit issue. We, the leaders from that area, we will talk to our people.
Okay, Honorable Duale, your time is actually up. Order, members, order, members. We are very fair, Honorable Duale is actually on record apologizing. No order. Honorable Sangok, today, where did you pass? No, it is, he apologized to Honorable Mbuyu, Rosa Mbuyu, and it is on record, he said that Honorable Mbuyu is not his girlfriend. Order, members, order, order. We had, members, and Honorable Rosa Mbuyu is cousin to Millie Odhiambo. Honorable Rosa Mbuyu, you raised your issues, and Honorable Duale, it's on record, apologized and he withdrew. He withdrew. Can I have Honorable Duale withdraw for satisfaction, Honorable Rosa Mbuyu? Yes.
Honorable Madam Speaker, because Honorable Rosa is an old friend of mine, yes. I withdraw to calm her down.
You withdraw. Thank you. Now that is quite in order. Withdrawn. Honorable members, this debate had a balance of 53 minutes, and I therefore call upon the mover to reply. And the mover, you have only 2 minutes. The Vice Chairperson now, with the absence of the Chairperson. The Vice Chair. Honorable.
Madam Speaker, I want to donate 1 minute to Honorable Millie.
Yes, she's in procedure to donate. Honorable Pukose, today you look not to know the procedure.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Gedi is actually allowed to donate. Madam Speaker, I want to encourage honorable members that when we are dealing with serious issues of security, let us be sober, because this is the life of the country. So let us be sober in the way we are dealing with security. And Madam Speaker, you can see even when I was debating on the security issues, I was sober. But I just want to encourage my brothers that you touch a woman, you touch a live wire. I will deal with you perpendicularly. So don't be calling my sister Rosa your girlfriend, because she does not desire a boyfriend. She's as beautiful.
Yes, Honorable Getty to reply. You're on record. I will make a determination, please reply.
Madam Speaker, I'm informed that there is no quorum, but nevertheless, that is for your determination. I beg to reply.
You beg to reply.
But there's no.
Very well. With that, honorable members, the House is not properly constituted for me to be able to put the question on the report. And so I do order that the question to the report on public petition regarding insecurity in Saku constituency and the larger Marsabit County be deferred. Next order.
Order number 14, motion, report on a public petition by residents of Wajir and Garissa counties regarding lack of access to citizen registration services.
Already someone is shouting there is no quorum, please. Which member? Yes, Honorable Sangok.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I just need your guidance, Honorable Speaker, because when we are in this House, we must protect the Speaker's seat. Honorable Speaker, whenever the Speaker is upstanding,
There is
Honorable
totally
Speaker,
nothing out of order.
they must, whenever the Speaker is standing, all other members must sit down. And Honorable Millie, ukikataliwa, kubali kukataliwa. If Honorable Dwell have said you cannot qualify to be his girlfriend, it is his choice. His choice.
You are out of order. Honorable Rosa Buyu was using the dispatch box, so there is no way she can resume her seat from the dispatch. And they were ordered. As usual, you are always out of order. In fact, you are making a lot of noise. Yes, Honorable Waluke is insinuating. Yes, be on record. Honorable Waluke, yes.
Madam Speaker, there is no quorum in this House.
There is no quorum. No, with that one, I order the division bell. After ascertaining from my seat, then I order the division bell to be rung for 10 minutes. Order, 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 members. I want to make a... Yes, you can resume your seat from where you are. Thank you. I do order the quorum bell to be stopped. Other members, unfortunately, we are not able to raise the quorum, and the time being 5:51. Other members, with us not being able to raise the quorum for transaction of debate, a transaction of the remaining part of the business, and the time being 5:51 p.m., this House stands adjourned until the Tuesday, October 12th at 2:30 p.m. Thank you.